We're Bison! We are impacted! We're Bison! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to episode 57 of Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and, of course, Twitch, if it's working. Hopefully it is today. I am your host, Bison, and today I am joined by I nearly said the birthday boy, but that was what I wrote for last week. And I'm joined today by coming to us from the void, the Joker, and, of course, the man simply known as Steve. Hiya, boys. How we doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Getting kicked in the side from me, dog. How you doing?
Doing good. Sammy's awake then this week, is he?
He's under the bed, yeah. He's under the pillow. So if you see me getting knocked from side to side, he's kicking me in the ribs.
Well, as long as he's not ripping your mic, as long as he's not ripping your headset off, then we should be okay, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. And how about you, Steve? You've been busy today, mate.
Yeah, I must admit, I feel exactly the same as Joe. Been a busy day at the NHS, so yeah, been busy my end.
Been busy your end, I can imagine. Not an easy area to be working in at these times, right?
No, not for anyone there.
No, exactly. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, mate. Let's get cracking because we've got a very, very special guest. So at this time, I'd like to welcome our guest. He's coming to us live from the Serengeti, the vibrant UK wrestling scene. He is the Laredo Kid.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on.
No worries. Look at that. Now, listen. What I was saying to the lads earlier was that this is the first time we've actually had a masked wrestler on the show. So it's fantastic to welcome a masked wrestler on the show. I mean, I guess you are a luchador.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, mostly a luchador, which is great. So you are actually probably the first luchador we've had on the show as well. So that's really, really exciting. So thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. Now, interestingly enough, it's great to have you on the show, fresh from your appearance on the UK scene last weekend. Now, I personally saw you at Wrestle Carnival show, and it was a pleasure meeting you and your lovely lioness wife, who was also there, which was lovely to meet her as well. Now, I know you're aware, of course, of my daughter Boomer Boyce, who's a huge fan of yours, so I'll be bringing her on in a second just to ask you a little question. She's been getting that. She's been practicing it in her bedroom. So it'd be interesting to see whether she could deliver it as well as her dad. But we'll have to wait.
I'm very excited to find out.
It would be great. So here we go. Now, you've been a professional since 2003. So I think that's 18 years or so. Can you give us an insight into how you got into the business? And do you remember that first ever match? And who was it with?
Okay, how I got into the bit. Okay, as you say, it was a long old time ago. I was about 13 in school, and myself and a group of friends who were big wrestling fans. And one day, one of my friends came to me and he said, "I've been to a wrestling training class." And I went, "No, you haven't." He went, I have. And I went, "No, you haven't." I thought he was just like winding me up, having a joke with me. He went, "Yeah, it's called this and it's around here." And I was like, "All right then, I'll come with you next time." And I did, and it turned out there was a wrestling training school literally around the corner from my house. And I had been there for years, and I had no idea. And yeah, that's where my training began when I was 13, and I am now. Put me on the spot. I'm 32 now, so most of my life I've been involved in wrestling.
That's incredible. And the funny thing is about that as well is that you're still young, really. I mean, 32 is no age, really, in this business. So there is still lots of time left, we hope. And as long as you continue enjoying and loving what you do, that's the important thing. And we'll continue to support you. Now,
I love it just as much now as I did on day one, probably even more so. More so now. These last 6 months or so that wrestling has been back, I've probably had more fun in wrestling than I've ever had.
Oh, that's amazing. So who was your very first professional match?
Oh, so it was what was called a junior match at the FW Academy. So we weren't quite adults. So I was 16 at the time, maybe 15. My first match. Okay. It was just a 6-man tag, like basic 8 to 10 minute thing with 6 of the junior wrestlers from the younger class. And it was good fun. Actually, most of the people in that match are still wrestling now, which is kind of funny.
Really? So could you remember who it was then?
Yeah, so a guy wrestling now is Priscilla, Queen of the Ring. He was in it.
Oh, yes.
And Ansler Dash, who's a regular on Kapow, along with a guy that wrestles under the name Hitman for Hire. Those two are actually a tag team still to this day. And oh no, Hitman wasn't in that match. I'm getting mixed up with another match. But at least 2 of them. So Ant and Priscilla, those 2 are in the match, and they're still wrestling now.
That's amazing. So of course they must all come from the Serengeti then.
Something like that. Sometimes I feels like it living in my house with my boys like wild animals. So
fair enough. Now I know you've done some great tours over the years, including I know you've done some tours in Holland and Europe, but also Japan. Can you give us some insight into what you remember from that tour? Because we're big fans now of New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially, and All Japan and Noah, which is also a fantastic wrestling promotion in Japan. Can you give us some insight on that tour?
Okay, yes, it was for it wasn't for any of those. It was for Dragon Gate, and I did a couple of matches for Dragon Gate UK when they came over and did a few shows in England. And on one particular show, I wrestled their main champion at the time, the Open the Dream Gate champion. Their main title's called Yoshino. And we had a good match. It went well, and he seemed very happy. And that match was in October of that year. And after they invited me to go over and have an opportunity to work on some of their shows, which is huge for me, like huge dream come true, because obviously wrestling on the UK shows and the goal is to impress and get out there, and for that to happen I was like, I couldn't have been happier. And so I got back to them and be like, I'd love the opportunity to go, but how about instead of doing like a normal like 6-week tour, 4 to 6 week tour like they have done with some of their other British guys, can I go there and train in your dojo as well? So a tiny tour turned into a 3-month trip where I got to stay in their dojo and train with all their guys right before actually getting to wrestle on some shows, which was an amazing trip. I think at the time I was like their first foreign student to ever attend to their school, their dojo. So that was super cool.
That is amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So you ended up there how long? Sorry, 3 months?
3 months in the end, which was... it was a long old time. I did get a bit homesick towards the end, but like my feeling about it is like I might never ever get this opportunity again. Like 3 months was the maximum my visa was allowed to be. So like if I'm going to take as much as I can get, because I might not ever go back. Like, who knows what's going to happen. Yeah,
that is absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So, I've just got someone coming in. Apparently Boomer's saying that her link's not working. So I'll tell you what I would do. Sorry, guys, this is a live show. So what we'll do is we'll bring Boomer on with the Bison instead of in the link. So we'll bring her in now. Should we bring you in to come and speak to Lion Kid? Yeah, you can come in now. You can come in on here next to me. Come in next to me. Come on. Come in next to me. You've got your stuff there. Come on in. Come on in. Look, everyone, it's Boomer, Lion, Kid, Bison. She's just
Hello,
come in.
Boomer.
She's come in to say hello, and you'll notice she's made her own mask, which is pretty cool. We sort of kind of put that together, didn't we, sweetheart? Yeah. She even got me to draw on the bit in the middle of your mask, this bit here, and we put on some the lines and everything. So big fan, big fan. Now, I do know that you've got a question for Lion Kid, haven't you?
Why did you pick your name to be Lion Kids?
Oh, that's a very, very good question, Boomer. And can I quickly say that I absolutely love your mask? I think that's very cool. Done a really cool job with that. My name, Lion Kid. Wow. I was wrestling for a few years without a mask. And the problem was, even though I was about 17, 18, 19, even up to like 20, my face, I look much younger than I am. And I look about 15 years old, which it put a lot of promoters off giving me opportunities on shows because they didn't want it to look like a child was getting beaten up on their shows, which is understandable. So I did think about doing a masked character. And I was a big fan of a wrestler in Japan called Dragon Kid. And he's a little guy like me, amazing high flyer. And his gear and his mask just looked incredible. So I was very inspired by Dragon Kid. But obviously I couldn't just take his name. So I tried to think of like other animals I could be. Animal Kid. Tiger Kid was my first idea, but I decided that wasn't quite British enough. So Lion Kid was the one we came up with in the end. And I think it's worked out very well. I'm very happy with the name. What do you think of my name, Boomer? Yeah. Nod.
Bison's making me too.
I think that's a nod of appreciation.
Well,
Bison, you're on mute.
That was a very good question.
You're on mute.
Sorry, lads, I was muted because I took my microphone off. Sorry, go.
I was scared when the stuff got into Lion Kid's eyes, so I was all worried, and that's what made me really, really scared.
Oh, you got scared? Well, yes, that was for those of you that don't know. A few days ago at Wrestle Carnival, I was in a handicap match with Joe-ker and Steve against Charles Crawley, and the trickster that he is, he popped a balloon full of some sort of powder into my eyes, and which blinded me for most of the match. But don't worry, Boomer, I've got checked out by the doctor afterwards, and I'm totally fine, and I'm all better, and my eyes are 100%. I'm ready to get back in that ring, and at the next Wrestle Carnival, you'll probably see me again, and I'll be fighting just fine.
There you go. That's good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic news. Okay, sweetheart, that's enough of you for now. Do you want to go and watch the show?
Goodbye.
Bye, Boomer.
Goodbye, Lion Kid.
There you go. Right, I'm going to plug myself back in, lads. I'm going to plug with. He's having trouble getting the link to work. So let me just plug myself back in. Right, I'm back in. 3, 2, 1. I'm back in the room. So listen, what a fantastic appearance that was. I know that the TNI tribe absolutely love when Boomer comes on and does her thing. She is the cutest. She's the cutest, I must admit. Apple of my eye, as all children are to their parents, I'm sure. But fantastic. She was extremely worried. I'm not going to lie to you. We had to put up with because we live in mighty Essex, so we came up to Nottingham, the 3 and a bit hour drive. But we had to endure Boomer's dismay for a good hour, if not a little bit longer. on the way
Oh my
home.
goodness. That's such a long drive for someone her age as well. It just shows how committed and excited she is to see the wrestling.
Exactly. She absolutely loved it. So yeah, she's by my side pretty much the whole time when we go to a wrestling show. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yes. So there we go. So we got a little bit done with regards to that. We brought her in a little bit early. Having problems with connecting up there, but never mind. We it's a live show, guys. These things happen. You know, we just have to roll with it. You know. But anyway, now one thing I wanted to talk to you about is that the UK scene has gone through a lot of changes over the past 20 years. Can you give us your thoughts on the current state of the UK scene as it is as of now, sort of, you know, after as the pandemic is now started to subside?
At the moment, from everything I see, like post-pandemic, British wrestling particularly is bouncing back, and I think it's going to be stronger than it's ever been. Like we've had so much time away. Like British wrestling fans are so excited to get back and watch wrestling, and the wrestlers that have been sidelined for so long are so excited to get back, and they just want to make up for that lost time and work harder and perform harder than they've ever done. And just shows everywhere that I see, like almost every show I've been on has been a sellout, and shows that I see online that I've not been a part of, all over the country, just like everywhere seems to be like selling out and doing really well. And yeah, I think this is a new beginning for British wrestling, and I don't know if what the potential peak could be, but it's very exciting to wait and see and find out.
Fantastic. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because obviously your long career, I mean, sort of 17, 18 years is quite some time. Now, I know you've had some awesome opponents over the years, including Ultimo Tiger, which probably was quite cool. I've seen Nick Aldis, Jody Fleisch, Robbie E, who was an Impact or a TNA wrestler, Johnny Storm, etc. But can you say what was your favorite ever match? And do you have an opponent that you've not necessarily faced yet, but you would love to face in the future?
I don't know about favorite match. I've been wrestling for a very long time. It's hard to say. Oh gosh. And I don't know, like I say, you've wrestled. I've wrestled like a lot of big names as well. Like I got to wrestle Daniel Bryan. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Sami Zayn and Pac and as you say, like Johnny and Jody and Xavier Jr. and Marty Skull and like lots of other British guys that are now doing very well.
How about Will Ospreay? Have you wrestled Will?
Have I wrestled with Ospreay? Yes.
Must have been insane.
We wrestled. I have wrestled Will. Sorry, I had to think for a second because I was sure that I must have done because we've both been around a little while now, but it didn't come to my mind straight away. But yeah, I have wrestled Will, and oh my gosh, how well is Will doing these days?
Oh, he's insane. He's incredible wrestler. And like I say, he's sort of kind of, I think he's really sort of established himself now in New Japan Pro Wrestling big time. Yeah, I mean, I think when people talk about, you know, best wrestlers in the world, he's definitely in that sort of top 10, I would imagine, if not top 5 of best wrestlers in the world right now. So yeah, he's incredible. I bet that was crazy because obviously he has that lucha libre style as well, and of course you've got that lucha style too. So I bet that was a real fast, crazy, flippy type match.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, it was a 4-way match on a Dragon Gate UK show. And the other 2 people were Rich Swann, and who's obviously fantastic, and Uhaa Nation, who wrestles.
Sorry, I missed it.
Uhaa Nation.
Yes, I know.
I can't remember what his name is now, but I think he's wrestling under a different name now. But yeah,
that would have been
maybe
insane.
Apollo something he's called now, maybe in WWE.
Is it Apollo Crews?
maybe, maybe.
Yeah,
But,
Apollo Crews. Yeah,
yeah,
he's amazing as well.
Yeah, all three of those guys in that match were fantastic. So yeah, it was really cool to be in the ring with all of them.
That is
Yeah, it was
amazing.
fun.
That is amazing because it's interesting. When you say when you see these guys on TV, and you're like, yeah, wrestled that one, yeah, wrestled him, wrestled him. It's like, it's that in itself is pretty awesome, And I always say there's some amazing talent around that deserve to get a little bit more spotlight. And for me, you're one of those guys. You've been around a long time. You have some amazing matches. Some of the matches that I've seen on YouTube, as well as seen in live over the years, you've always been absolutely outstanding in every match I've ever seen you. So I think that alone, we should see you on some bigger platforms in the future. I really believe that at some point. Now, Anna, who's actually called Violet. Her name is actually Violet, but she goes on there for some reason Anna. I don't know why. But she's got a question for you. Can you see that on the screen, or do you want me to read it to you?
Yes. Question from Anna, aka Violet. Why did you choose the lucha style? Okay, I think I can answer that. Well, I very small guy. I am in the low 5 foot range, let's say. And so it kind of and with the mask and the name Lion Kid, it kind of makes sense for me to be a lucha guy. If it was up to me, I probably wouldn't mostly be a lucha guy. I am actually a big mat wrestling fan. I'm a technical wrestling guy. Whenever I go down and I get a chance to do some training, I'll spend probably just 2 hours rolling around on the mat doing some old school and some classic British wrestling. But when I go onto the shows, promoters and the fans, they want to see me jump about, they want to see me fly, they want to see me flip. And when I'm against much bigger guys, which I often am, being a tiny fella, it doesn't really make sense me trying to grab someone's arm and ring it round, because they can easily just bosh me away. So story wise for the show and for the match and for my character, it makes more sense for me to be a lucha guy than it is a mat wrestling guy, as much as I love mat wrestling.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
I was just thinking one way you could work around it really would be is if they allowed you to gel the style a bit more. So you do like Daniel Bryan, for example. He's a small guy, but he does a lot of strikes.
Yeah, he might be short. He's not much. He's not much taller than me, but he's thick. Yeah. Whereas I've got a much smaller frame than him. And I do. It depends on who I'm against, really. If I'm on someone close to my size, I often will sneak in a couple of minutes of mat wrestling at the start of a match before doing just for me, just for fun for me, before getting into the stuff that the fans really want to see me do.
I love the chain wrestling and grappling and stuff like that. I really enjoy that, especially you don't see it a lot from US wrestlers, but you see it from a lot of Canadian wrestlers, and it's always really good to see the chain grappling and moves being strung together.
Oh, it's my absolute favourite. It's so much fun. I could wrestle for hours on the mat happily at training. I don't even know where the time goes half the time. But yeah, that's my favourite. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy being a high flyer and being the underdog and telling those stories as well. But if all else being equal, if I could get away with being a mat wrestler, I certainly would be. I would try.
You would give it a good go. No, I hear you. I hear you. So what Anna's saying now is, it's something about you could add in some submission moves or high fly, and it all makes sense if you could, add it all together. And I'm sure, like you just said, you do when you get guys that are more of your sort of size, it makes sense. I suppose it's a bit difficult to try and get, someone like, I don't know, Powerhouse Blake, for instance, into some kind of mat wrestling.
There was a little while where I did experiment with potentially adding a submission move to my repertoire, but that's just because a fan suggested to me a name for a submission move, which I absolutely loved, and I'd be like, okay, I've got to just try and do one just so I could get the name in there. Which was, he said, oh, you should do some kind of armbar submission called the Lion Bar.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, I've got to do that.
The Lion Bar, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. See, I mean, you've got Diana Prazo, who's got the, what does she call it? What does she call it, Joe?
Fujiwara armbar.
That's right, but what she calls it, the Venus de Milo, don't she? Is that the double one?
Yeah, that's the double one.
The Virtuosa, see? And then you've got the Lion Kid who does the Lion Bar. That's amazing. I love it. Some way you've got to get that in. You've got to get it in somewhere.
I've been trying for a while, but I haven't managed to find something that like totally suits the character and stuff. It's funny, like for the most part, like when I'm like putting my matches together, the thing I care about most is like telling stories and interacting with the fans and getting some emotion from them. So like most of the time, I don't really care about what moves I do. I'm not one of those guys that's be like, oh, I've got to get my cool move number 6 in. Like, I really don't care what moves I do. I just want to tell a story and have some fun with the fans.
Yeah.
But a good way to convince me to do any move whatsoever is to come up with a silly name for it. So
all right.
when I heard the Lion
Keith Goldman's got one. Keith Goldman in the chat's got one. He's saying, what about the lion crab?
The lion crab. Is there an animal called the lion crab?
I got no idea.
Is that an actual animal?
Keith seems to think that would be good. I think he's probably trying to say, well, you got the Boston crab, so why can't we have the lion crab, I guess? I don't know.
There's like sea lions and lionfish and all that, but I've never heard of the lion crab.
I always remember back in like the TNA days, Chris Harris had a move called the catatonic.
The catatonic.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Catatonic, yes. What was that?
I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it was. I
bad,
always remember that move.
My brother-in-law suggested a little while ago. He suggested the Pride Rock Bottom.
There you go. The Pride Rock Bottom. That's a pretty good one. Anyone in the chat? Come on. Anyone in the chat? Come on. There you go. We got Keith Goldman again. The Lion Sleeper. It could be called the Lion. What about the Lion Sleeps Tonight? What about that?
The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Yeah, is that some kind of choke hold or?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, well, he's sleeper hold. We could have the Lion Sleeps Tonight, and that could be your sleeper.
Well, maybe
hold.
I just do a drop down. I do a classic wrestling drop down and sleep and trip them up, and then somehow win them on that.
You never know. You never know. There could be some cool ones.
Now is called the Circle of Life, which I really like.
Yeah. So
like
hang on, what we got some more coming up here. There's loads now. Everyone's getting excited on these. What else have we got? Then we've got so when the lion versus the moose versus the rhino.
Like the lion figure roar.
The lion, the lion figure roar. The lion figure roar.
Oh, it took me a second. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like the figure 4, but the lion figure roar. Yes, I'm down with that. That's a good one, Steve. I like that one. That's really good. So we got Hakeem Fullerton, who's an avid listener to the show. He's just come. He says Lion Kid looks like he would be perfect fit for the old TNA faction, the Menagerie. Do you remember those? They were like a carnival I guess circus type act, I guess. So I guess you probably would fit in because you could you could have been one of the lions at the circus, I guess.
Oh, the perfect fit, yeah.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? Could have been one of the lions at the circus. That would make sense.
Well, all the characters were circus based then, because when I hear menagerie, I think like menagerie of animals. So
there was Rebel and Crazy Steve, and I forget who the third guy was. But he was like
Bob Terry was the other one, weren't he?
He was like the freak. So it was more based. It was based around sort of kind of like more like a freak show. You have
the villains.
Yeah, they were sort of villains. I mean, you had Mike Knox, who was he was like the ringmaster.
Didn't you?
You had Crazy Steve, who was the clown. obviously, because he's a crazy clown.
Okay.
He used to speak with his horn. He used to walk around going, honk, 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 on his horn all the time. He never spoke to begin with. That was what he did. He honked his horn every time he spoke. You had Rebel, who was sort of like, I think she was like the gymnast or something, you know, like
Yeah, she was
high
sort of
flyer
like
maybe.
the,
something like
Oh,
that.
I see. Like contortionist, gymnast type thing. Yeah.
That's right. And Rob Terry from Wales, Welsh boy Rob Terry, the freak.
I know Rob.
That's right. He was the freak. He was the freak in the menagerie. So yeah, that was a faction. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. He was like the freaky strong man. Yeah, that's exactly what he was. He wore this crazy mask. He was proper scary looking, wasn't he, boys?
He was fantastic.
He done well. That was probably his best role, in all honesty, and when he was in TNA, it's probably his best role. But no, that's
cool.
absolutely.
Well, so Impact Wrestling, if you want to bring back the menagerie with Lion Kids, give me a call. I'm open to it.
There you go. There you go. We've got some Gary saying, what about the Lion Valley Driver? Lion Valley Driver, or you got the Lion Flex,
the Lion DDT.
Yeah, there you go. And there's a somebody's going. There's a Tiger dude in AAA. I'm trying to think. What's his name? It's not Tigre Uno. We're not talking about Tigre Uno, is he? Do you remember Tigre Uno, Lion Kid?
Yeah,
Tigre
The
Uno
name
as
rings a bell, but I can't put a. I was about to say I can't put a face to the name, but he's probably wears a mask. I can't put a mask to the name.
Yeah, he does. He does wear a mask. To be fair, but again, Tigre Uno, he was X Division champion for a while. He's
won in Impact.
He did, and he's very similar size to you actually. Probably about 5'6", 5'10", maybe at a push, I guess. So he's yeah, he was great. But yeah, imagine that. You could have a tag team of Tigre Uno and Lion Kid. That'd be amazing. I'll tell you what.
Lions and Tigers.
Exactly. This here right now is basically Fantasy Booking 101. What we're doing right here, Fantasy Booking 101. But anyway, I think, to be honest with you,
I love the fantasy booking stuff. Like when promoters come to me, like I like I've been wrestling for a long time and I've done lots of different storylines. So the more unique and out of the box and silly and crazy your idea is for me, the more I'm going to be up for it. Because it's not very often I get the chance to do something super original storyline wise. So I love the outside the box thinking with regards to booking.
Oh, good. Well, you get loads of that from us, isn't it, mate? Gets loads of it. You'll get a load of hardcore matches and stuff from me. So I think you'll be a bit careful how far you step into the empty space.
That's it. That's true. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Somebody saying the LLK, long live the king. How about that? Because King, yeah, King of the Jungle. You're the lion, King of the Jungle. Makes sense.
I had a group I used to work for a little while ago. I did the super kick on some of their shows, not as a finish. I did it as like one of my main moves, and the fans really bought into that and shouted Simba kick every time I did it.
Simba kick
instead of super kick.
Yeah, so it was getting so over. I almost made it my finish on those shows because that's the thing they popped for the most. Just
really, Simba kick, fantastic. There's another one here, lion saw. What about the lion saw? You do a great moonsault, don't you? I do the line salt into a final cut sometimes, and for a little while, if the bottom rope's nice and tight, sometimes I'll do a bottom rope line salt and call it the cub salt. Oh, very good. Very good. I like it. Well, I think that's pretty much all we've got time for today, but it's been absolutely awesome having you on the show today. I cannot recommend enough that you go check out Lion Kid on the socials, YouTube, some of his great matches. Can you let everyone know where we can find you and maybe where we could buy some Lion Kid merch too? That'd be really cool.
So you can find me anywhere online at Lion Kid UK, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can see me about on lots of British wrestling shows. Check out my social media to see where and when I am going to be. And merchandise, I am revamping and I'm going to plan on launching a new proper online merchandise store soon. But between now and then, if there's something particularly you want, you can just DM me online and I'll sort you out.
Good man. Good man. That's what we like to hear. Absolutely super. Make sure you support Lion Kid, everybody. All the best for the future, my friend. I look forward to seeing you in the coming months, as I'm sure I will. All the best for the future. Lion Kid, everyone.
Fantastic.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.
Take care.
Thank
Take
you.
care, buddy.
Take care.
Take care. Wow.
That's
How about
amazing.
that? How about
That's
that?
absolutely amazing.
What a fantastic guest. What a fantastic guest. And I knew it would be the minute I spoke to him at the show on Sunday. I thought he was going to be a great guy to have on, and he really was. So maybe we could get him back on again in the future. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, I can't recommend enough. If you've not seen this guy's work, go on YouTube and go check him out, or go and check him out on the social media. He's definitely well worth some of your time just to check out his work, because he's fantastic. And I know one thing. I'm going to go and see if I can find that match where he was with Will Ospreay and Rich Swann. You know, that I bet that was an absolute cracker of a match. So I'm going to get online and check that one out. So I could recommend.
That's went across my eyes when we mentioned Rich Swann and Will Ospreay in the same match. Oh,
I was
God.
like, whoa. Yeah, I straight away, I was like, whoa. So I'm going to try and find that one. And when I do, I'm going to share it. So
Yes.
everybody could check it out. If we can find it, that is, if we can find it. I'm sure I will find it somewhere. I think he said it was at Dragon Gate, didn't he?
Yes.
So I'm going to see if I can find it. But anyway, what a fantastic guest. And, thanks to everyone that joined us. I've noticed we've got a few people in the chat at the moment. Gary, that's interesting. Shark Boy and Lion Kid would make a great team. You're right. They probably would. So it's great to see you today, Gary. We've got
baby!
We've got Bonkers. we've got Hakeem. We've got Keith. I think Mir was in there somewhere earlier as well. So it's great to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
Is Lakers in this week? I'll tell you, we haven't seen Lakers for ages. I'm a bit disappointed. Hopefully,
He was in last week.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, hope he joins us. Let's hope he joins at some point today as well. It'd be good to see him. But great to see you guys that joined us today. Absolutely super. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Lion Kid. But we have got some Impact Wrestling to talk about right now. And I tell you what, this week we've got some fantastic stuff. And I think what we need to do is we need to preview what we've got so far with regards to Turning Point, guys. We've got some interesting matches. First of all, we know that we've got advertised the X Division title match, which is Trey Miguel versus another kid, Laredo Kid. I think this is going to be an incredible match. I think one of the matches that we're probably going to be talking about a little bit later could have some implications on this one, whether it stays a one-on-one or whether it becomes a three-way. Who knows? We may find out tomorrow night. What are your thoughts on this one? I'm going to go with Joe first.
This match needs to stay one-on-one, in my eyes. I think Trey Miguel versus Laredo Kid on its own is just what we need. And it could steal the whole show on its own. No disrespect to Steve Macklin, but we've seen him in like 2 or 3 triple threat matches now, and he's not won. So have him on the sidelines. I'll come out after the match and attack Trey Miguel after he obviously wins, because it's inevitable. But Laredo Kid is awesome, and he needs this final spotlight, because I think this is his last set of tapings at Impact Wrestling. And I'm not sure if he's carrying on after this live event. So it would be a great way to send him off for a little while, to have him and Trey Miguel, and they'll tear the house down. Okay. What about you, Steve? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of heading in a completely different direction to Joe, but after what Joe's now said, it kind of makes a bit of sense. Either way, I think Trey will leave still holding the X Division title, and either way, it very easily has potential to be match of the night.
I agree. I think so too. I think the thing is, when you put talents like Trey Miguel, you're going to get a hell of a match. Did I just disappear then?
No, everyone did. It went on and off for everybody.
Okay. Hopefully everyone else could see what we were saying there, so it's all good. I think whatever happens, when you got these guys in a ring together, you're going to get one hell of a match. Do I think we're going to see an addition? I think we might. I think we might, but we'll have to we'll have to wait and see how this one pans out. But I'm with you guys. I hope it stays 1-on-1. I really do. Okay, we then got the Impact World Tag Team titles on the line. So we've got the Good Brothers versus the Bullet Club. Now, again, there is a potential some implications with regards to this one as well. But again, I hope this one stays obviously 2-on-2, as opposed to adding in another tag team. I hope this one stays with the Bullet Club. And actually, I'm going to go with the Bullet Club taking the win on this one. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. With it now being 1-on-1 with these two, I feel that this is the perfect. If they don't strike now, I don't know when they're going to strike. And this would be a perfect storytelling, I feel, for Jay White to show up and see possibly Chris Bay get the pin and him to say, yeah, I chose right.
Yeah, actually sort of like endorse him kind of thing there and then. Yeah. Almost. Yeah. What about you, Joe? What do you think on this one?
Yeah, the Good Brothers need to lose this match. First of all, they've been okay as tag team champions. They've been better on the mic than they have been in the ring. No disrespect to them. I've just not been fully engaged in all their matches since they've been tag team champions. They're better off when they're chasing the belts and really getting down and dirty. Like Steve said, if they don't strike now with someone taking the tag team championships, then it's a wasted opportunity, and they'll be just they're really stuck between the number one contenders. It's either Finjuice or the Bullet Club right now, and we've seen Finjuice and the Bullet Club go back and forth for at least 2 months. So we need new champions now, and the Bullet and Chris Bay getting the titles now. He's crying out for the belt online. He's really saying, I'm going to get this. So he's definitely got full confidence that he's going to get it.
He's going for it, yeah.
I've got full confidence Chris Bay's going to get it. I think he's going to pin Carl Anderson, and it's going to be a really, really big shock.
Yeah, no. I definitely agree with that. There's a little question there from
Peacock.
There's a little question there from Hakeem. He's just noticed that Ted, the teddy bear, is right behind Bison. So you would be right, my friend. My buddy Ted is decided to join us on the show. So you may be lucky, and you might get to hear him talk later, but you never know. I've got to be careful. I got to be careful though. I've got to be careful. This is a family show, so we've got to be a little bit careful. Anyway, moving on. Exactly. So Impact World Knockouts Tag Title match. We've got the Inspiration versus Decay. Are we going to see the Inspiration retain here? Or, now this is the thing. See, this for me is another potential to turn into a three-way. Because, could you imagine if the Undead Bridesmaids pin the Inspiration on Thursday to then get themselves inserted into this match? So we get the Undead Bridesmaids Inspiration versus Decay. I don't know. I think I could actually be down with that. I think this match, that would be cool. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I'm on the fence on both. If it's a triple threat match and the Inspiration win, it adds more merit to them because then they've beaten both teams in one match and it's great then. It's that, or we see them do pretty much the same thing they did against Rosemary and Havoc before, because for some reason, whenever the champion, I want to see more offense from Rosemary and Havoc if it's going to be 1-on-1, because they didn't get a lot of offense in the match. About the Glory, which is really disappointing.
No, definitely. I'm sorry. I'm reading some of the comments here because Gary seems to think maybe Ted would introduce me to Flash Gordon, Sam Jones, which could be interesting. Bit interesting finding about that. And of course, Violet seems to think that maybe we could have Ted make an appearance on an After Dark. Possibly. So, yeah, there is a possibility.
They laughed, and they laughed, and they laughed, and they laughed.
Yeah, there you go. They laughed. And of course, Mir making a very that's a totally out of character comment from Mir there. Do you want to pop that one up? I don't think I want to say it, to be honest. But there you go. How about that one, Mir? So interesting. But anyway, so yeah, what about you, Steve? What do you think? Do you think this could turn into possibly a three-way with the Undead Bridesmaids, or do you think this is going to stay as a 2-on-2?
I'm hoping that it kind of does, because I feel that the Undead Bridesmaids need some credibility, and I feel they need a win. So I'm kind of hoping that they do get this win. And if they do go into the match, it will give me that kind of feeling that something maybe the father will turn
4
up.
years, Johnny. You and me have been together for 27 years. Where's my ring? Huh? Where's my ring, asshole? Where's my ring, motherfucker? Put it on my fuzzy finger, you fuck. Come on. Yeah, I mean, when you put some of the stuffing in the wrong places, so I'm a little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever...
If you have small children, please ask them to leave the room right now.
I had to show him off a little bit. He does have some of the great lines. I don't know whether you could hear that, to be fair. He was quite quiet. I think I need to replace the batteries. Oh, sorry, no, he doesn't have batteries. What am I talking about? He's alive. He's Clubber Lang, isn't he? Theodore Clubber Lang. I forgot that. Sorry, he's a real person. Anyway, so it's great to obviously have Ted make an appearance on the show. But anyway, so that's interesting, Steve. No, you're right. I think this is the one which, if it was made 2-on-2, then it could be a very, very interesting match. This one for sure. I think it could be. Now we then have the Impact World Knockouts title match. That's Mickie James versus Mercedes Martinez. Now, this is an interesting one because obviously I just mentioned Mickie James, who obviously is really, really near and dear to my heart as obviously the legend of hardcore country. But this is an interesting match. Do I think Mercedes Martinez is going to beat Mickie James? The answer has got to be
4-time knocked up champ.
Wicked. Where did that one come from? Is that a new one? I don't remember that one.
No, new one.
Oh well, see, Steve's been on it. He's on the case of the sound bites. I love it. Go on, Stevie boy.
Sadly, there's not many people you can use that one for. There's not many people that have won it 4 times.
That's true. Apart from Mickie James, obviously, who's now a 4-time, knockouts champion.
Hardcore country.
Da 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 da. Oh yes, there you go. There it is. It took a while. But we got there, and I was like, how long is he going to let this dead air play out? How long?
That is not an appropriate question.
And of course, now we're getting a bit of the Saban, which I love. Now, hang on a minute. Violet said she could hear him fine. Can you play the song? What are you talking about? The Thunder song?
She was talking about hardcore country.
Was she? Okay, fair enough. I thought she wanted Ted to play the Thunder song.
Oh no, not the Thunder Buddy song.
The Thunder Buddy song, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. And I am. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm having trouble pronouncing Mercedes tonight. Oh, I said it fine then. I have been having. I don't know.
Buy a Mercedes. Just don't buy a Mercedes car.
To be honest, that's probably why. Because I'm a BMW driver, so I was definitely having trouble saying the word Mercedes. I think that's probably what it was. But anyway, what are our thoughts on this one? I think obviously Mickey's going to win. I think it's going to be a really, really good match, though. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think if Deonna was the champion, I'd have gone for Mercedes. But yeah, given that Mickey has only just won it, I feel like she needs to hold it for a little bit longer. I like the intrigue they've added, the fact that they've kind of given Mercedes that like little bit extra to her now. Maybe Deonna gets involved, but I can see Mickey walking away with the title.
I think this is definitely where we're going to see Deonna come back. Obviously, I know apparently she's going to make some sort of appearance tomorrow night. Now, I think that'll probably be in some kind of vignette. I don't think it will be
like backstage.
I don't think
or an interview in.
I don't even. Yes. It's not going to be in the Impact Zone. So that's what I think. Is we're going to get some sort of video package where she's, pissed off or whatever. She's gunning for that title or whatever. I think it's a turning point. We're going to see Deonna turn back. We're going to see the Virtuosa turn up. And like you say, it could be towards the end of this match, which then could possibly mean that Martinez does win. Who knows? What about you, Joe? What do you think?
Yeah, I think and if Deonna Purrazzo was champion, I think Mercedes Martinez would have probably won it. But part of me wants her to win, and part of me doesn't want her to win because I don't want to see the Knockouts title go from one champion to another so soon. But if Mercedes Martinez does win, it then brings Tasha Steelz back into the fold a bit more. Which is, I'm a huge fan of Tasha Steelz. But then there's no stopping her from coming in after Mickie James beats Mercedes Martinez over Deonna Purrazzo. So this match is going to lead to something interesting regardless of who wins. But I think Mickie James is probably going to win. And they're either going to hug it out at the end, shake hands, or she's going to get flattened by at least two people.
Yeah, I think you're right. And again, it's going to be down to what direction they want to move in, I guess. But one thing's for sure, you're going to get a fantastic match out of these guys. We know that Mickey's still amazing. We know that Mercedes is amazing, especially after that match with Rachel Ellering and Tasha Steelz at Knockouts Knockdown. Both those matches were fantastic. So we know we're going to get a good match. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. Now, and of course, we've got the Impact World title match of Moose versus Eddie Edwards. Moose is not, this match has been set up because we've already got a backstory, so they didn't need to build to it. What we've also got is, someone from Moose to beat with credibility. At the end of the day, Eddie is he 3 or 2? He's 2-time world champion, isn't he?
3
Is he 2 or 3? 2-time. So he's 2-time world champion. He won the X division, and he's a Triple Crown, isn't he? He's also obviously multiple tag championship runs. So, if Moose takes out Eddie Edwards, then what you've got is credibility straight away. So I'm Moose is going to win this one, but it's going to be a great match. Moose is awesome. Eddie Edwards is awesome. We're going to get a really, really good match. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it'll be a fantastic match. I mean, both men, they always put on a 5-star clinic. Part of me gets the feeling that it could be a match with stipulations, given how Eddie tends to wrestle lately, and given the history that both men have with each other. But yeah, there's no way that Moose is losing this match. So I think we'll come away still thinking, wow, what a fantastic main event. But even though we feel it's predictable, but yeah, Moose is
it's still going to be an amazing match. What about you, Joe? We know you're a massive Edwards fan, so come on.
Oh, big Eddie mark me. Obviously, Moose is going to win, like you guys have said. There's a history between them. Moose needs someone with credibility to beat. There's a huge uproar on one of the Facebook groups about Moose and Eddie Edwards once again facing off against each other. And part of me just wants to write a 4 or 5 page long rant to back at them to say why this match is so fucking awesome on paper and is going to be so awesome on the night. But there's going to be so much explicits in there that I think I'll probably get the 30-day knockoff of Facebook. No, seriously, like you guys said, Moose needs someone to beat the credibility. There's a huge amount of history between the two of them, and the Impact Wrestling is doing a great job of building up the storyline between Moose and Eddie Edwards now in such a short space of time. You know, we've had Eddie Edwards go through W. Morrissey, and W. Morrissey go get put down by Moose, and then all three of them are bouncing off each other. So the storyline is perfect. And whoever after Moose beats Eddie Edwards, then it's going to be Josh Alexander or W. Morrissey in this fight next. So it's set up what's coming next really well, and it's just closing a chapter on Moose and Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards now that Sami Callihan's injured. So it's a great match to just be one you sit back and just enjoy it rather than roll your eyes that it's another Eddie Edwards match. It's not like it's Tommy Dreamer, guys. So enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree 100%. And I have to say that I think the X Division match is going to be. I think that'll probably be the opener. I think it'll open with that because they always open with a good, fast, high flying match. So possibly going to be opening of the night, which will set the tone. I think that this match is going to be amazing. Moose and Eddie, and I honestly believe that the Mickey James versus Martinez is going to be one of the matches of the night as well. So I think it's going to be that's going to be a real good match. But who knows? Who knows? What are your thoughts then, Steve? You don't agree?
Well, given the matches we have and the matches that we don't have announced, I still think that they can have another match, fast-paced match in the opener. I mean, I still feel that the X Division match, if you have a match similar to that, the X Division can still be elevated higher on the card.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a possibility of that. Whatever happens, they always kick off with a pretty high flying, fast paced match to get that crowd going. I also think there's probably room for another knockouts match on the card. So I'm interested to see what that works out. Go on then. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it in. Come on. What do you think? Potential matches.
Given what we've seen, I get the feeling that could be the DMC match.
Okay, what? Chelsea Green versus Jordan Grace. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it could be. So it could be that one. That would be a knockouts. I guess that would be a knockouts match, even though it's technically not. But yeah, it is two knockouts in the ring.
It makes sense to fit it on there, seeing as it's a digital platform and it's only exclusive to Impact Plus and YouTube. So it makes sense to put it on there. But we've also got Heath and Rhino versus BBD on the card, possibly.
Well, technically, Rhino only challenged EY, didn't he? So I wonder if it'll just be those two, and it'll be a case of D'Amore saying, look, it'll be you two, and VBD are banned from ringside. So I wonder if then EY will get someone else to interfere on his behalf, and we'll see someone else then.
And that's where we could potentially see a debut.
A debut or a return of someone else on the Impact roster join. But yeah, I wonder if that could be the direction of it.
See, because that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Do we think who do we think could potentially debut? Because I'm thinking that yes, they're obviously going to go live with their monthly specials now, which is going to be great. If they continue to do that, I'm going to be over the moon, because I think that's exactly what they should be doing. Okay, but it does offer another opportunity to potentially bring in some surprises, right? Some debuts, whether that be returns or whether it be debuts, whatever. Do we think we're going to see some debuts at Turning Point, and who do you think we may see? And I'm going to go with Joe first.
As a long shot, given how closely we're at Bound for Glory, I'm going to say Adam Shear.
Okay. Yep. I mean, are we thinking that it just possibly wasn't the I's and the T's? The I's weren't dotted and the T's weren't crossed at that point. At that point.
Yeah, but they were in negotiation. There was no the contract didn't fall through on bad terms. They just weren't able to reach an agreement on everything in time to get him to debut for Bound for Glory. There's no ill will between the two of them, and as far as I know, Nick, everything is still on the table. It's not like he said, no, this is a bad offer, I don't want to do it. It's just they couldn't get everything finished in time to get him on the pay-per-view in time. So it's all like timing rather than people's ego and I want this, I want that, which is what everyone seems to be speculating it's all down to. You know, everyone thinks it's all about money rather than practicality.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, anyone else?
Someone I'm going to throw out there is someone I think we talked about recently, either former Bronson Reed, and he's going by Jonah, because he recently appeared at New Japan Battle of the Valley, and he kind of attacked Moose, or didn't attack Moose, but he sort of went up to him after his match with I can't think. Juice Robinson.
I didn't see that. Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
That's right. I didn't see
Yeah.
it. Did you see the show?
Yeah, it was.
Was it good? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great show, and I would recommend seeing it. But yeah, he went up to Moose after his match with Juice Robinson, and then attacked Finn Juice. And he also cut a promo saying that the violence is now here. And
right,
that's
interesting.
Something along those lines, and it's like that's very interesting. The fact that he said violence is now here or something.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, Hakim's put forward that the Briscoes, Mia Yim, and Taya. Well, unfortunately, Mia Yim and Taya can't, can they? Because they wouldn't be within their. They wouldn't be within their. That would be within their 30 days. So that's not going to happen. The Briscoes. I mean, I don't know unless they come to an agreement with Ring of Honor to let them show early or what, I don't know. But the Briscoes, I know, are definitely scheduled for that final battle. I believe Ring of Honor final battle. So maybe they won't be allowed to go until. Yeah, maybe they can still appear. I don't know.
It just depends what happens after an appearance, because they have been all Ring of Honor talent have said that they are allowed to take bookings. It just depends what those bookings are.
Exactly, but that's the thing. They might, yeah. I mean, obviously, we know that Jay Lethal's been released now to AEW, which is a real shame. But he's obviously headed on over there. But who knows who could be the next? I mean, maybe the Briscoes will be next. Who knows? But I know one thing. I think, like I said, I think Bronson Reed or Jonah, as he's going by now, is a very, very strong possibility, especially as you're saying, he's confronted Moose.
He was booked for Bound for Glory, wasn't he?
Exactly.
So there is obviously something there.
So I think that's a strong possibility. I think we may see the re-debut, if you want to call it, of the now signed Lady Frost. Possibly. Yes. So we may see Lady Frost turn up. And I still think that Jonathan Gresham is going to be on that show. The Foundation is going to be on that show because I know that there's been a few things that have sort of fallen into place, and I know that he's cancelled.
I thought about that, but I'm trying to think where they would put him.
I'm sorry, but the Foundation versus Violent by Design would be gold.
Yeah, but
would be gold.
Would they come out after they've attacked, beating up Rhino and Heath? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know where it would fit into the story. But what I do know is that if they did it, if somehow they managed to work it so they could get Jonathan Gresham on that show, I think that would be awesome. And bringing the Foundation to Impact, the Foundation versus Violent by Design would be the dog's bollocks.
And let's not forget, he in Ring of Honor, he works partly he also has a producer role. So losing Dreamer and Pete Williams, they could definitely do with another head backstage.
Yes, exactly. And of course, the fact that he's doing his own show called Terminus. I don't know if you've seen that. It's going to be called Terminus 1, the first show. So I'm assuming that that's going to be some sort of kind of maybe, monthly thing or every 4 months, or he's going to do something. I think it'd be interesting to see how that one pans out, because that's supposed to be not just a one-off. That is supposed to be almost like a new generation promotion or something. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. as well. But that's what I see. That's what I see. I'd be interested to know what other people think. Don't forget to leave your comments. Let us know. And I see a lot of people mentioning the Briscoes. Yes, I think the Briscoes would be great as a tag team coming in. We could do with a tag team like that. That would be fantastic. I'd also like to see, I think they're called the Sean Taylor Experience or the Sean Taylor.
Maybe.
It's not Experience, is it? Promotions, Sean Taylor Promotions. I'd be interested in to see if they were to come in as a like, the faction. That would be quite interesting if they came in all together. But who knows? It doesn't necessarily all have to happen at Turning Point. You've got plenty of shows that these stuff can happen at. That's for sure. But what I know is that I think this show's going to be really, really good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches.
Another one is Ace Austin and Chris Sabin is most likely going to come
they
too.
half announced that on Impact, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think that happened as well. I think you're right.
Maybe with Madman Fulton banned from ringside because Chris Sabin's pointed out that Fulton's always there. So I think Scott D'Amore might ban Fulton from ringside, which would be interesting. Which I really want to see, to be honest, because I want to see Ace Austin and Sabin just go at it with no interference. Because Ace Austin is awesome, and to be honest, he doesn't need Fulton in his corner anymore, or he never really did.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It'd be interesting. I think Ace Austin, Chris Sabin, that'd be an amazing match. I hope that happens. But who knows? We don't know, do we? I'd love to hear what you guys in the chat think of who you would like to see. Who you think these extra matches are going to be. Who you'd like to see debut. Because it's obviously a big thing at the moment. We've got a lot of indie talent, we've got a lot of Ring of Honor talent, we've got a lot of WWE releases. So there's a lot of talent out there that can turn up. Exactly. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Okay, so let's move on to the digital media match now. We had a number one contenders 4-way last night, obviously on Impact Plus and YouTube Ultimate Insiders. We had Alicia Edwards versus Jake Something versus Chelsea Green versus Matthew Raybold. I think this was actually, they gave him 5 minutes, which is a little bit longer than previous matches, but still, there's 4 people in there. It still could have gone a little bit longer, I think. They haven't announced when the match is going to be held. So, if you don't want me to say the winner, I won't say the winner. But they haven't said when the next match is going to be. So I'm interested to see when that's going to be. Like we said, we think it may it may happen at Turning Point. Would make sense for it to happen at Turning Point. Or will it happen next week? I think it'd be Turning Point. So let's hope that happens.
Kick it off. Yeah, kick Turning Point off with the Digital Media Championship. It's just the right decision, especially if the matches are going to be 5-6 minutes long. You've got your starting match right there and then.
Yeah, perfect. You could give him a good 10-minute run, couldn't you? You could give him 10 minutes to really go for it, and have a really good, solid match. Especially knowing who's obviously in that match, I think it could be really good. Okay, so we'll move on from that for now because obviously we don't want to harp on too much on that one, as certain people haven't seen it, so we don't want to upset anyone. So tomorrow night on Impact Wrestling, we've got the BTI match, which is Brian Myers versus Sam Beale. Now, this is a great match. I think it's going to be a great match. I think a few people have said this should be on the main show. I haven't, I don't know whether it should be or not. But for me, if it's at the top of the hour of the end of the hour for the BTI show, then to me that's a showcase position to be in. So if you want to watch it, then all you got to do is tune in 15 minutes earlier and watch a great match. What you do get when they have it on the BTI is it's longer. It's normally 10-15 minute match. If this match was to be on the main show, it'd probably only be a 5-6 minute match. So that's what you've got to think about, I think it's going to be a good match. I think Sam Beale is finally going to finish off Brian Myers to perfection. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Steve, on this one?
I don't know. Part of me feels like Myers may get the win here because I feel like they're gonna just take it that one extra week to a turning point.
Yeah.
This feels like a feud that should end at turning point.
So do you think there might be some sort of interference which then turns it into a DQ and then we then get it repeated again at turning point to sort of finish the storyline?
Yeah, it feels like maybe Myers would have like a trick up his sleeve or something.
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, that's the trouble. When he is the most professional wrestler, he knows all the tricks under the sun, don't he?
He knows all the things under the ring too.
Exactly. He knows all the things under the ring. You're right. So it could be an interesting. What about you, Joe? What do you think on this one then? Obviously, you know that Brian knows all the things under the ring, but what else?
I think should Brian Myers or Sam Beal, we know should run up, regardless of who wins. One thing I hope they don't do is then make a 6-man tag team match at Turning Point. But I think I want to see Sam Beal win because Sam Beal's just won me over very, really quickly. And then they can bring that to Turning Point. And regardless, Brian Myers can just be so pissed off about it that things are up backstage. And then Scott D'Amore just throws them together one-on-one there and then add another stipulation like a hardcore match or something there. That would be interesting.
I think
go on, mate. Go on.
Something that we've not seen for a long while is I feel like it would be interesting if at Turning Point we see Beal kind of just get so irritated that he says, look, I'm fed up with the entire learning tree. I'm going to sort of, take, run the gauntlet kind of thing, take this dice on, take VSK on, and then I'll take Myers on and run the gauntlet kind of thing.
That would be awesome too.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It might sort of maybe make the learning tree look slightly weak. I don't know, but it would really build Beal into something.
Yeah, it could. You're right. There's lots of ways I think they can go about it, but I think you're right. I think this match does deserve to finish on Turning Point. So we'll have to see. I think maybe, like you say, the learning tree get involved. It ends in a DQ. Scott comes out. Right, that's it. This match is going to be replayed at Turning Point, but everyone's going to be banned from ringside, all that kind of stuff. So it's a true one-on-one, no DQ kind of scenario. I think
for reals.
But again, it's just one of those. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good match. We then move on to this show itself, Impact Wrestling on Access TV or YouTube Ultimate Insiders or Insiders if you're into the YouTube, or even if you want to watch it a little bit later on, and then you're more than welcome to watch it on Impact Plus. There's so many ways that you can watch Impact Wrestling. No excuses anymore. Anyway, moving on. Steve Macklin versus Laredo Kid. This is going to be interesting. But like I said, there's an implication here, because we haven't seen Steve Macklin lose yet. Macklin himself has not lost. Yes, he's been in 3 ways where he's not been the winner, but he's not actually lost. He's not lost in those matches. He's not been the one pinned. He's not lost. So he's still what you would class as undefeated. Are we going to see Laredo Kid defeat Steve Macklin, or are we going to see Steve Macklin defeat Laredo Kid and by default end up being inserted into the X Division match at Turning Point? This is the question. What do you think, Joe?
I personally, I want to see Steve Macklin just get himself disqualified. I don't want this to be a 3-way match at Turning Point. I said it when we kicked off the Van Donna Turning Point. It needs to be Trey Miguel and Laredo Kid, and Steve Macklin doesn't need to be in this match to make it any better. It might not take anything away from the match. It might not stop it being match of the night, but there's many ways that they can just get Steve Macklin to lose this match or get to not pick up the win, and not take a pinfall or a submission. They can have him stuck outside the ring for 10 seconds and then get counted out. It won't be it's like how EC3 used to lose matches. He wouldn't get pinned or submitted for ages. He would get himself counted, get himself disqualified, and that's where they're going with Steve Macklin at the moment too.
Yeah.
And it won't kill his momentum if he gets like counted out. It just means that the Laredo Kid's been able to get back in the ring faster than him.
Yeah. He's not actually, as long as he doesn't eat the pin, then his sort of kind of unbeaten run kind of is almost intact, I guess. He's not been pinned is the key. Not being pinned is the key. And just to answer your question, Mir, we don't love three-way matches. We just look at the way Impact book, and sometimes you can almost predict what they're going to do. In a sense of when they're putting someone like Steve Macklin versus Laredo Kid 2 days before Laredo Kid gets a match at Turning Point for the X Division title, then interesting. This is obviously something that's in someone's mind somewhere, because why would you put Laredo Kid in with someone that currently is undefeated but is a signed talent, whereas Laredo Kid is only here for a certain set of tapings and then he moves on?
Who booked this?
So you have to try and read behind the lines a little bit. Well, you don't have to, but it's fun reading between the lines a little bit. So we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. Like you say, hopefully we keep it as a one-on-one. We want to keep it as a one-on-one. I think it deserves to be a one-on-one, like we said earlier. So we'll have to wait and see. Then we've got Doc Gallows versus Hickalyo. What do we think on this one?
Wow.
Two big fellas. Now, if you go with traditional booking on this one, right? If you go with traditional booking on this one,
Gallows wins
because we want to see the Bullet Club win at Turning Point. Okay, if Hickalyo wins, that indicates that the Good Brothers could potentially be winning at Turning Point. That's if you go with traditional 101 booking. But Impact don't always do that, do they?
No.
What I think will happen is we'll get a no contest or something, or somehow maybe the Bullet Club, or maybe like El Phantasmo, will try and interfere or something. No, I don't see either man eating the pin.
Really? You think we might get interference then and return into some sort of brawl between the Bullet Club and the Good Brothers?
Yeah. I see that. I even see Finjuice coming down and just going up with one last bang.
I don't want that, because
I don't want that.
If they come down, I can see this being turned into a three-way again. So
I don't want it, but that's one of the Impact Wrestling seems that if that's one of the things that's is most likely going to happen, because it just seems the most predictable. And but the other thing is, I think like you said, Carl Anderson or Chris Bay or El Phantasmo will do something outside the ring, and that'll just cause everyone to disrupt and come in and fight with each other, and again naturally get thrown out.
One thing I do want to bring up is, like you mentioned this, that El Phantasmo won the match, and then they've got Hickalyo as the image for the poster, and that really gives me a good feeling that they could win the titles and then defend it under the Freebird rule, which I love.
Yeah,
I love that too, and I think that worked really well. Like you say, it could be any combination. Again, it's almost using that combination as a way to sort of like strategize against whoever it is you're going against,
and it's something the Bullet Club would do too.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I suggested it last week that the Freebird rule would work with the Bullet Club. And you need Hickalyo in there to go up against Doc Gallows. El Phantasm would just get his ass kicked, as good as he is against. You need an even playing field. You got a fast guy in Chris Bay with a really good technical wrestling, Carl Anderson, and you just need two big guys, two big horses to just punch the shit out of each other and really, really up the ante when everything else fails.
Possibly, I think you're right.
It's always good to see Doc Gallows go against someone the same size as him as well, because that's when he's at his best. It's when he's against someone at his own size, and you see him just taking a beating and dishing it out. Again, you can see you really do feel like fucking hell, he's really taking this.
Yeah, just like you see, like Mira said, two big men slapping meat. That's exactly what we're talking about. So it's going to be an absolute
Hold my scarf!
So okay, yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those. Or hold my beer. So we then move on. We've got the Inspiration versus the Undead Bridesmaids. Now, already, like I was saying, out of all of the matches that I think would actually benefit or be good as sort of kind of like a three-way, so it would be a 6-man or a 6-girl tag, would be this one. I'd like to see the Undead Bridesmaids pin the Inspiration and then get a shot and then get added into the title shot so we get a 3-way. I think that match would be great. I'm up for that one. None of the others, but I think this one would benefit. I think it would be good. I think this would be a really good 3-way tag match. Because otherwise, the other feeling I've got here is if the Undead Bridesmaids lose, then they've lost 2 weeks in a row, and it's sort of kind of like that makes them a dead tag team, really. They won't be undead. They would be the dead tag team bridesmaids. That'd be it.
They're already kind of walking a fine line as it is. That's kind of why I felt they needed a win last week. But for me, if they are added to this match, maybe it'll be me kind of holding my hopes too high, but it does give me a strong hope that we will see a father figure of some sort, because they will be actually on the show. I think you will be watching this match closely.
Yes, I agree. What about you, Joe? What are your thoughts? I mean, I know that you love the Undead Realm stuff, so what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think the Undead Bridesmaids need to win this. And then that will be the only triple threat match that I'd like to see on Turning Point, because, like you said, they would have lost 2 matches in a row, and then the Inspiration going on to, we know they're going to retain the tag team titles at Turning Point. Then they go on and beat Decay. Decay have lost another match, and it doesn't look good on them. And unless Decay get a huge amount of offense in this match to make up for the match at Bound for Glory, then it's pretty much done and dusted. We might as well just skip it match. And I hate that actually hurts saying that, because I'm such a huge fan of Rosemary.
Yes, of course. Yes, you are a very big fan of Rosemary. I think Rich Swan has something to say about that, Keith Goldman.
Yes. So,
interestingly enough, I don't know. I just feel that this is the match that could benefit from being a 3-way tag. I don't know. I just feel it is, because I don't want to see the Undead Bridesmaid or Brides or whatever they're called. I'm sure they're called. Are they Brides or Bridesmaids?
It's Bridesmaids. If you
Bridesmaids.
Watch it
last. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was Bridesmaids. So you see the Undead Bridesmaids, actually, they need to get a win under the belt.
They need a bit more credibility to them.
Yes, at the moment, they're just the whipping girls.
Mm.
So we'll have to see. We'll see how that one pans out. We then have what was going to be the match of the night. Certainly going to be the big main event. We've got the Josh Alexander. See, that's someone else we've not mentioned for Turning Point yet. But we've got Josh Alexander versus Minori Suzuki. Now, they have been billing this as an absolute badass match. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing match. So I'm looking forward to this one. Like I say, Josh Alexander versus Suzuki, 1-on-1. I mean, what is there not to love on this one, boys?
This is the good stuff.
Exactly. It is the good stuff. So I've not heard too much about it. Now, this has been pre-taped. So, we've not heard anything like huge spoiler-wise with regards to it. I've not seen anything. They've done well on this one. So I'm really, really excited to see this. I know that a few people, all I've heard or seen is a couple of people saying that this is a badass match. So I knew that straight away. As soon as Josh Alexander is in a match with a Japanese wrestler, strong style wrestler, we know you're going to get a good match.
Yeah.
So
look at that match that Marufuji he had. That was awesome.
Exactly. This is going to be just as good. So, are you in agreement on that one, boys?
Yeah, and I could even see Visslin leading to Josh Alexander versus W Morrissey for Turning Point, or if something happens in this match that makes it a no contest, then put this match onto Turning Point, because I was hoping this match would be on Turning Point as like the co-main event. So I was a bit disappointed that it's on the fight match the night before Turning Point, but then you want to end this set of tapings with a huge match, and it doesn't get any bigger than this.
No, it's huge. This is a huge match. Interesting, Larry Bongo 999, who's obviously from the UK, because it's put up there 0728. So he's obviously in the UK. Now, I think he must be, although I might be wrong. I don't know.
Our time.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought when they were in the US or whatever, it put up their time. Let me have a look. Oh, no, it doesn't, does it? But anyway, so wherever you're from, Larry, interesting. I've not seen loads of matches from Suzuki. I've seen a few online and stuff, so I'm actually really looking forward to this one. So I hope it's one of his good ones, Larry. I hope it's one of his good ones. And it is good to see that you are in the UK, buddy. Nice to see that. Whereabouts are you? Let us know.
Yep.
Lakers is in the house. Lakers has arrived. He is impacted. He's impacted.
Damn, where have you been?
Oh, man, we've been missing you, brother. Glad to see you back on, boy. Good to see you back on. And Larry's in Lancashire. Well, are you a first-time viewer, Larry, or have you been on here before? I don't think I've seen your handle before. Have you seen this handle before, guys?
No. I'm not using Twitch. I'm just using YouTube.
I don't think I've seen Larry before, but if you're new, don't forget to hit subscribe, smash the bell, and never miss a listen in the future. It's great to have you with us, Larry. Thank you ever so much. And again, it's great to see Larry. And of course, Keith has been joined us recently. I never mentioned when Keith turned up, so it's great to see you as well, my friend. Great to see you. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's pretty much round up today's show. We've not got really a lot to say. Other than that, really, all I've got to say really is please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up, and also make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI flagship Impact live review directly after the show is aired on Twitch and YouTube. And it looks like Larry often watches the Thursday night show on the live streams, so I might see you tomorrow night then, Larry. You never know. Also, all TNI shows are available for all of you listen on the go fans. There's audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at Joe-ker empty space. You can check me out on WrestleBuddy, and you can also find me on Facebook. Look for #empty space, #the void, or if you want to test your sense of humor and your sanity, #daily giggle. And come in with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
There you go. What about you, Steve?
You can find me over on Twitter at simplysteve311 for everything Impact Wrestling related. Or like Joe, you can find me over at WrestleBuddy under the Impact Wrestling handle, where I post a new Impact Wrestling article every Thursday.
And he does, and they're very good as well. I definitely advise anybody to go and check out WrestleBuddy.com and check out Steve's articles on Impact. They're really, really good. And when Joe manages to pop one out, he's very good at popping them out as well. But recent articles have been very, very good. They're also very long, so just make sure that you have at least a good hour to spare to get stuck into those.
By the time you got to the end of it, he's released his next one.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. So
this most recent one is all for pay-per-views and a recap on everything. So it's like looking back at everything that we've covered, it has my opinion changed. And right now I'm going to rewatch rewatching Hard to Kill for the two main events, Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan, and then the 6-man tag match, because I've got writer's block. So I'm rewatching those two matches, and then I'm going to be going on to Rebellion, then Summerversary, then Bound for Glory, and so that's where I am at the moment. There's been so much going on here. I got writer's block and forgot what I wanted to say about Eddie Edwards' match with Sami Callihan. So I need to rewatch that match, and it's just fucking awesome as well. So I'm going to watch that again, and I I love that match when I first saw it. It actually scared the hell out of me seeing how badly beaten up Eddie Edwards was. And when I watched it the second time, I still couldn't watch some of it. So that's how engaging that match was. So I'm going to have a lot
good
to
match.
say.
There was some great stuff. So, guys, don't forget to go and check out Joe's articles as well. He's very passionate.
Mums on Rosemary, if you guys
there you
want
go.
to check that one out. And there's one with the X Division that Josh Alexander got quite endorsed with. So
he did. Yeah. The main thing is that Joe is extremely passionate about whatever he writes about. So it's great to spend, get over there and spend some time checking it out, guys. Definitely. And you're right, Lakers, 100% pure beefalo all the way, baby. So, so it's all good. Now, please, as I said before, please, if you're looking for me, I didn't mention me. After all of that, I've not mentioned me. If you're interested in following the Bison, go and check me out on Twitter at LordBison45. I'm getting so close to 1,400 now. Follows so close. I've had quite a few in the last sort of week or so. Please make sure you go over there and give me a follow. I do lots of discussions about UK wrestling as well as Impact Wrestling, some of the indie stuff going on in the US as well. So please go and give me a follow and check me out. Also, please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube and obviously Twitch by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button, and don't forget to obviously give that bell a tickle, a squeeze, or a smash to never miss any of the TNI UK and US teams. Great content each and every single week. It's been fantastic having you. We had a fantastic guest this week in Lion Kid. I make sure that you go and check him out as well. He's a fantastic UK wrestler. Boomer Bison was on earlier, so thank you to Boomer for popping in, saying hello. That was good as well. And don't forget, if you want to support the TNI, head over to the Spreadshirt store or prowrestlingtees.com/Total Nonstop Impact and check out some of our t-shirts, our mugs, our hoodies, or whatever. So basically anything that we don't have on Pro Wrestling Tees, we've got on the Spreadshirt shop. Go and check that out, support the team, and of course don't forget that support us on Patreon as well. With all that said, I've been Bison. They have been the Joker and Simply Steve, and a big thank you to the Lion Kid and Boomer Bison. And this has been episode 57 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
We're Bison! We are